3 minutes. That's all it took. In just 3 minutes, a sitting federal judge went from calm to absolutely furious. 3 minutes for Kash Patel to cross a line he can never uncross. 3 minutes for a judge to look straight into the cameras and say, I'm going to have you arrested right now. My hands are still shaking as I write this. Watch this video to the end, because what you're about to hear is something that has never happened before, and it tells you everything about who these people really are. Let me be real with you for a second. I've covered a lot of courtroom moments. A lot of powerful people standing before judges. But what happened today in federal court in Washington, D.C., this was different. This wasn't a hearing. This was a reckoning. FBI Director Kash Patel walked into that courtroom thinking he was untouchable. He walked out having nearly been put in handcuffs on live television. And if you think that's an exaggeration, keep watching. The judge in this case is not someone you play games with. 26 years on the federal bench. Before that, a federal prosecutor. He's seen every trick, every excuse, every delay tactic in the book. And here's what makes him truly intimidating. He doesn't shout. He doesn't bang his gavel. The angrier he gets, the quieter he becomes. Every word lands like a hammer. That kind of calm is not patience. That's power. Now picture the courtroom. Serious. Silent. Every word echoes. And then Patel walks in, shoulders back, chin up. 3 lawyers behind him. An assistant carrying 2 bags. The whole show. He sits down at the respondent's table, fixes his tie, and looks around like he owns the place. Like this is just another TV appearance. Like this judge is just another person he can talk past. That attitude right there, that's what got him into trouble. The case on the table, the Epstein files. Documents the FBI was ordered to hand over months ago. Not once, not twice. The judge had issued that order 3 times. 3 times. And every single time, Patel's team showed up with the same tired excuses. Too many documents. Classification review takes time. Not enough resources. The judge had heard it all before. Today, he was done hearing it. When the hearing opened, Patel's lead attorney stood up, expensive suit, expensive watch, and ran the same play again. The FBI is working hard. Progress is coming. We just need a little more time. The judge cut him off with one word. No. No more time. No more extensions. No more weeks. He wanted one thing, a real explanation for why his court orders had been ignored. The attorney tried to bring up limited resources. The judge reminded him the FBI's budget topped $1 billion last year and asked whether that was really not enough to follow a simple document order. The attorney shifted to claiming they needed specialized staff for classification reviews. The judge shut that down too. He'd heard that exact argument before from the exact same table. He wasn't interested. And then he did something that changed the entire room. He stopped looking at the lawyers. He turned his eyes directly to Patel. Director Patel, he said, I want to hear it from you. That was the moment everything shifted. Patel stood up and buttoned his jacket. That little move, that's a dominant signal. It's what people do when they want to look in control. In a boardroom, maybe it works. In front of a judge with 26 years of experience, it was a mistake before he even opened his mouth. Patel said he appreciated the court's concern. He wanted to assure the judge the FBI was fully committed. The judge's response came back flat and cold. I didn't ask for your assurance. I asked why my orders weren't followed. Patel's jaw tightened. He pulled out that rehearsed politician smile and started talking about national security complexities and interagency protocols, basically saying the situation is bigger than the judge understands. The judge stopped him. He said he had the proper security clearances, had reviewed classified materials in closed session, and had already ruled 3 times that none of those concerns justified the delays. He asked one more time, why did you not follow this court's orders? Patel looked at his lawyers, looked at the table, looked at the ceiling, looked anywhere except at the judge asking the question. He mumbled something about operational complexity. The judge cut him off again. He told Patel directly, answer the question, no dodging, no deflecting, just answer it. And here's where it happened. Here's the moment that broke the entire room. Patel took a breath. But it wasn't quiet or respectful. It was loud, slow, dismissive. The kind of sigh a teenager lets out when someone tells them to do something they think is beneath them. And then he said it. Your Honor, with all due respect, some things are beyond this court's jurisdiction. Stop right there. Did you catch that? The director of the FBI just told a federal judge in his own courtroom, on camera, on the record, that certain things are above the court's authority. The man whose entire job is to enforce the law just told the man who upholds the law that he doesn't have to answer to him. I want you to think about how dangerous that is, not just for this case, for all of us. Before we go further, if you've been following what's really happening inside these institutions and you're tired of people in power acting like the rules don't apply to them, drop a comment below. Tell me what you think should happen next. Because this moment deserves a real conversation. The judge froze, 5 full seconds of complete silence. He didn't move, didn't blink, just stared at Patel with that cold, quiet fury. When he finally spoke, his voice was almost a whisper. What did you just say to me? Patel tried to backtrack, started stumbling over words, trying to claim he meant something different. The judge raised his hand and shut him down immediately. I heard exactly what you said. Beyond the jurisdiction of this court. Those were your words. He turned to the court reporter and had the statement read back aloud into the record. The reporter's voice was visibly shaking as she read it. The judge nodded slowly. Then he looked toward the door. Marshals approached the podium. 2 federal marshals walked forward. Their footsteps were the only sound in that room. The judge stood up. You have shown the most blatant disrespect for this court that I have ever seen in 26 years on this bench. Nothing overrides this court's authority to enforce lawful orders. Not the FBI, not the FBI director, not national security claims that have already been reviewed and rejected. Nothing. Patel's face went white. His lawyers didn't move. Nobody breathed. The judge kept going. I will give you one chance to apologize to this court and take back what you said. One chance. If you don't take it, I will hold you in contempt, and those marshals will take you into custody right now. He looked at his watch. You have 30 seconds. That sigh, that dismissive tone, those words beyond the court's jurisdiction. That wasn't a slip. That wasn't nerves. That was Patel showing you exactly how he sees himself. He doesn't see himself as a public servant. He doesn't think he answers to courts, to judges, or to the Constitution. He thinks he's protected, untouchable, above the law. And for 30 seconds, a judge with 26 years on the bench made him stand there and face what that actually means in the real world. Patel apologized. He backed down. He promised to comply. But watch his eyes in that footage. There's no remorse there. That wasn't a man who learned something. That was a man calculating the fastest way out of the room. He said what he needed to say to avoid handcuffs. Nothing more. And that's exactly why the next 24 hours matter more than the apology ever could. Because words are easy. Documents are proof. The judge made it crystal clear. If those Epstein files are not fully delivered by 5 p.m., the next day the marshals won't approach to talk. They'll approach with handcuffs ready. Yes, Patel said. I couldn't hear you, the judge replied. Yes, Your Honor. Very clear. The hearing ended right there. Nothing left to say. Now I want to ask you something seriously. Do you actually believe Patel is going to hand over those documents? Because everyone in that courtroom saw the same thing in his face. That retreat wasn't real. That compliance isn't guaranteed. This isn't over. And the question of whether he follows through isn't just about him. It's about whether anyone in power is actually held accountable anymore. The video is already going viral on every platform. Legal analysts are calling it the most disrespectful thing a federal official has said to a sitting judge in modern history. Former FBI directors are doing back-to-back interviews saying they've never seen anything like it. Beyond the court's jurisdiction is trending everywhere. People aren't just angry, they're awake. Here's the bottom line. In that courtroom today, one judge with 26 years of experience delivered the clearest message that powerful people in this country desperately need to hear. No one is above the law. Not the FBI, not its director. Not even the national security card changes that fact. When a court orders something, you comply. When a judge asks you a question, you answer it. When you show contempt, you face real consequences. The kind that come with handcuffs and a cell. Tomorrow at 5 p.m., we find out what kind of country we actually live in. Either those documents get delivered, or for the first time in American history, a sitting FBI director gets arrested. Two options. No middle ground. If this moment made you angry, if you're tired of watching people in power treat the law like it's optional, then share this video right now. Don't let this get buried. The more people who see what happened in that courtroom today, the harder it becomes for anyone to pretend it didn't. Share it. Talk about it. Because accountability only happens when people refuse to look away. 24 hours, one deadline, no more excuses.